Welcome to Mental Health Helps, where we heal, educate, listen, prevent, and support through conversations with experts, activists, and people's personal stories. Today's guest is Kristin Barlow. She is the director of Dance for Life, and I'm going to let her finish it because it's a little bit of a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. Absolutely, Brandy. Dance for Life, Suicide Prevention, and Good Mental Health.
Tell us what that means.
It is a nonprofit that we started back in 2018, and I've been in the dance world for 30 years, and so I decided that we needed to use dance, the therapeutic properties of dance, to help with the mental health crisis that I think we have, especially after this pandemic, but this was even before the pandemic. We just had a lot of suicides in our area, and I decided to start a nonprofit using Dance for Life that I've been using for all of these many years.
Did you have, often those of us who do something in this space, we do it because we had a personal experience.
Right.
Did you have a personal experience that spawned this?
Yes, absolutely. So in 2018, I was pondering retirement from the dance world. I'd been doing it for 30 years, and I think, what's my next step? And I was alarmed by the number of suicides that were happening, especially in Box Elder County. I was in Brigham City for those 25 years, in the Perry area as well. And I was alarmed by it. Another one. It just seemed like they were coming every year. And so I thought, maybe this is something that I can do when I retire from the dance business to further dance. I love dance. I've been doing it for so long. That can help people. I know it helps people. And so I just spawned it that way. Now, my another very personal experience, though, was my own daughter. She was a dancer, obviously, with a mom for a dance studio owner, and she was bullied terribly on the drill teams, which are wonderful, but there's a dark side.
Yeah.
And so she was bullied to the point in her senior year we had to take her to another high school. So that was a personal experience with bullying and how that can really cause a lot of anxiety and emotional distress. And so that was a personal. And then I have a son also that has Asperger's and has some mental issues. So yeah, it is a personal thing with me as well.
Explain what you guys do with Dance for Life. How do you try to help this?
Okay, so what we did is initially when I got this idea, it was like in July 2018. I jump on things when I get an idea, and I know everyone's just like, oh, what are you doing? But I just thought, let's get the dance community together. We're going to have, in solidarity, say we're for mental health, better mental health. We are for more suicide awareness. And so that's what we did. I just started contacting people. I called Ballet West. I called Odyssey Dance Theater. I called BYU Ballroom. I just called everyone. And I said, let's together and let's have a dance day.
I love that you did that, because oftentimes people think in the mind of, well, I can't team up with them because this is my idea and I want to do it. And it's like, no, the more we collaborate and the more we get people involved, the better effect, the more impact it's going to have. So I love that you initially just thought, okay, I'm going to reach out to all these major.
Yeah. And they all jumped on it. Like, there was not one that was like, or didn't get back to me, or that was like, I'm not interested. Everyone was interested. And I was very fortunate, too, because it was July when I got this idea, and I ran at the end of September.
Good
so
for
I
you.
had 2 months to get this together. But
Kristin Barlow, the freight train. I'm going to come right in, and I'm going to steam it, and we're going to get it.
I just was so excited
done.
about doing it, but the media was very helpful.
Good.
We had a lot of the media do some stories on it, and really help promote it. And it was just a great success. We had over 300 high schools and dance studio performers that performed. And then we did master classes. I brought in Sophia Lucia of Dance Moms, if you don't know who she is.
Of course I do.
You know Sophia Lucia, right? She came in and did master classes and it performed for us, and it was just a great event, and it just kind of spawned us to say, now where do we go from here? What more can we do with this concept of dance?
Okay, so you got it kicked off 2018 September. Big need. Everybody was excited to get on board. What's different in the Dance for Life as opposed to a standard dance class?
Right. Okay, so good question. So at our event that we first initially held, we also had a workshop. And I brought in Robin Towle, who was Mrs. International 2019 from the state of Utah. She won the title. Amazing. She's an amazing lady. Her platform was suicide prevention and bullying as well. And so we teamed up together, and we presented workshops at this as well. So instead of just having it a fun dance day, we incorporate mental health workshops as part of the event. The following year, we expanded it and we put a suicide forum in there as well. So we asked all of those running for office that year. We had the governors that were running for office on both sides of the aisle come and just express their thoughts about suicide, and to bring more awareness, but bring it into government, who has a lot of control and can help with funding, talk about suicide. So every year we've added something more to the event, that it's still around suicide awareness, taking the stigma off mental health is a big thing we focus on.
Right.
And it's just been overwhelmingly just people are excited about it, and they have come and supported us. We had, Burgess Owens, we had Ben McAdams, we've had just a lot of political people come to the event and in support of it, which we really do appreciate.
That's fantastic. Explain what you guys do. You said event. Are these annual events? Are these, in your classes with dance, or do you guys just kind of get together and do a few events a year?
Okay, good question. So we do an annual event every September. It's National Suicide Prevention Month in September, as you are well aware. And so we do it. We have been doing it the last weekend in September, starting in 2008, and we've been doing it every year. This year, we decided to move it to the first part of September, because a lot of the high schools with their drill teams and that had homecoming conflicts a lot. And so I'm like, well, if we move it early in September, we wanted September because it is a special month, and the focus is on that in the world. And so this year it'll be September 9th and 10th. And we bring drill teams in. We're going to add more, just a drill team show, and then we're going to just do, because they do things on the gym floor and things different than a stage. And so we're going to have them do a special workshop, a special drill performances, and just focused on the drill teams and how they can be such a positive thing, but they have a dark side, and to try to bring that into more of a positive light, a lot of that. So
isn't that the truth about everything, though?
Yeah.
It's like the internet. I remember when it first came out, my mom goes, "How does this work?" And I sat down with her and I was like, "Oh man, it's great. What do you want to look up?" And she goes, "I want to look up recipes." I said, "Great." I type up recipes and a XXX site popped up. And she was like, "No, I don't want those recipes. I don't want those recipes." I was like, I am so sorry.
It's so true.
But it's like so kind of with every single thing we do, even like politics, church groups, friend groups. There's so much good. But then there's
always the dark side, or the bad part of it that we can, and it's true. And so we're just really excited about it. I know this year we're also adding, and this is going to be a big thing, and we hope we get support from the community, is we're going to do a kind of a Met-style gala fundraiser for mental health on the Friday of that event weekend. So usually we just do it one day, but this year we're going to do it a Friday night, and we're going to have a huge gala ball, and have dinner and dancing, and have, charge tickets for people to come, and the funds will help go to mental health programs. So we're really excited about that. We hope to get the dignitaries to come out and dress up in their ball gowns and do our own Met-style gala right here in Salt Lake.
Ball.
So that something like that. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be really fun.
We're excited.
I like to dress up only if it's really extravagant.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's just a regular dress, I don't think I can make it. But if you're talking a ball gown, I might try that. I've never done it.
I just think it's going to be a lot of fun for everyone. So we just are trying to expand and just make it just more, just reach out more to everybody and bring more people into the fold. And the podcast, we are going to start a podcast as well. Not this kind of YouTube type thing. I don't like to be on camera very much. I'd rather talk.
Or dance. But if you feel more comfortable dancing in the background while we talk, that's fine.
I could be doing a little jig. But yeah, so to just like you are doing, to spread more awareness and just get out the stigma and let people talk about things that it's important that we talk about.
That's how we feel. And I really like the idea that you're doing it through dance. You're reaching out to a group. And the thing about it is all of us have our areas of influence. If you're a home builder, if you do dance, if you do sports, each of us who knows we can do something in our group to have a positive impact, but you just kind of have to be willing to do something to say, yeah, there's a problem here, there's bullying, there's mental health issues, we've lost this amount of people, and speak up, because it really is important to have these conversations.
Oh, absolutely. And I keep thinking to myself and sharing that, like, if we have a broken arm, if we have cancer, if we have a health issue, we go to the doctor. But if we have a mental breakdown, or we have mental issues or anxiety or depression, we hide it. We're embarrassed. And we just have to take the stigma off that we need help. We can go get therapy. We can get medication. We can go to a psychiatrist and get help. There's so many other tools that we can do.
Can we talk about tools for a minute? I am definitely not a dancer. I know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. And unfortunately for me and for everyone who's ever witnessed this, I apologize. I'm not a dancer. But what are maybe some tools or tips, techniques that you're teaching that might help? Are there a few things that maybe we can share with the audience that you go?
So a lot of the things are specific just for dancers, I think, but they have widespread implication as well. Is the perfectionist thing. A lot of times that dancers will think they have to be perfect, and if they make a mistake, and I will use my own daughter, my youngest daughter, who is such a perfectionist with dance, that if she made one little error at the solo competition or whatever, she would be upset. And it was a beautiful routine. She may even do really well. But
and nobody knew there was a mistake but her.
But she was like so upset after I messed up. And so I think this perfectionist thing is really in dancers and even athletes. You know, we see in the Olympics and all that, you know, they are so hard on themselves if they make a mistake mentally. And we just have to let people know, do your best. That's all any of us can do. Who hasn't made a mistake in life?
Just kidding.
Right?
I wish I could say me.
And so we try to teach to give yourself a break.
Right.
And this is what some of these workshops that we do with Robin and some of these that have worked with more of the mental health issues and especially for dancers is how to cope with the perfectionist. Also body shaming and body issues is big in dance. You feel like you have to be this little twig or you're not going to be a good dancer, things like that.
I feel that so much. Even in my career, I was a news reporter and anchor, and you want to look a certain way on video, and then as you age, you start to notice things. Or with the pandemic, you know, you put on a little weight, and that's kind of prevented me from wanting to be in front of people, to talk to them and to share these videos and messages because I'm self-conscious. But then you go, okay, nobody notices that. When I ask somebody, if I meet somebody who I think is just completely beautiful, I'm normally not describing their appearance.
Yeah, right. Oh, exactly.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I love her or him. They're the best person.
Oh yeah, inside, their personality, the way they carry themselves, the kindness that they show.
But we're so harsh on ourselves.
Oh, we're so hard on ourselves.
What do you tell the girls?
So we just tell them to take a deep breath, step back. Look at the big picture. Everyone around us has failed. The great ones have failed. In something, they get themselves back up and they pat themselves on the back and they say, I did the best I could. That's all that can be expected of anyone. And there might be times you just messed up.
Yeah.
It happens. But you just have to pick yourself back up and just brush off the dust and keep going and still say to myself, I love myself and I love that I gave it my all. And that's all any of us can expect of ourselves is to do the best we can.
I like that. And I see these beautiful girls, including my daughters, who they look at this idea of perfectionism on social media. My daughter's 19 and she wants to get a nose job and she wants to get this and she wants to get that. And I'm like, you are gorgeous. No, I'm this. Even the most beautiful people often only see their flaws or their perceived flaws. How do we let these girls know that they're beautiful?
And it's just something I think you have to learn over time. I think maturity, but I think the social media has such a big impact on these girls more than when I was growing up, I'll tell you that. I mean, they just are comparison. They look at Instagram and see these perfect dancers or perfect physiques or perfect this. But if you talk to those famous people, they would have a laundry list of things they didn't like about themselves and that they were so everyone has doubts about how they look, how they act, their voice. I mean, you can nitpick yourself to death, but this is what makes us unique. We don't want to be like everybody else. We don't want to be a Barbie doll like every other Barbie. We want to be unique and to just embrace what's special about yourself. And that's what we talk about, is the self-love. We really emphasize that in our workshops.
I think, well, you and I, when we were growing up, we didn't have social media, but there were magazines and there was Photoshop and these beautiful women that we thought, oh, this, and dancers and even flight attendants. I remember my aunt was a flight attendant and she got fired because she gained like 20 pounds. They're like, nope, you're a size 8. You can't work on the airline anymore. But I look at it now and I feel like one bonus is body positivity has gone up. Like dancers come in all different shapes and sizes, and it's more recognized because you can do it. I'm hopeful, and again, I'm not in your world, but I would think that at least that part has gotten better for them than perhaps us.
I think so. Like I said, it could be a great thing as well. And I think that there has been much more acceptance worldwide on different body shapes and that we're trying. I think there's been great growth in that.
Me too.
And I really feel like the social media can go a long way in influencing that. And I agree with you. I think that we are much more accepting. And maybe it's because we are talking more about it. And there is more media attention to it because we are focusing on these issues that people have worried about for so long. And they don't need to be.
Right. Kristin, tell us some of the things that you think dance helps with.
Oh, so many things. So first of all, the endorphin building, when we do exercise, it brings happiness. It's been proven by study after study after study.
Speak for yourself. It usually brings tears for me. I'm crying on the floor. Oh,
I know. Yeah, we each have our different ways to resolve.
No, I'm
conflict.
kidding. I do feel better. Actually, when I am stressed out, one of the things I like to do is go for a walk or even a run, which almost kills me because I don't run anymore. But
I know.
It's great.
It's sometimes hard to go do that exercising, let me tell you. But what we found, a study, which was interesting, and I went on Good Things Utah for this.
Yeah, used to work on that show.
Oh, you did? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we loved it. It was a great opportunity. We talked about, they were interested how dance helped with dementia.
Yeah.
It made us mentally healthier. Now I just don't mean like mental health, like as far as like our emotions. I meant mentally. It makes more neurotransmitters in our brain. And what they found, they had a study. It was in the New England Medicine, Journal of Medicine. It was published. And what they found is they studied older people.
Yeah.
And they found, they had them do different activities. And they found that like biking, which you think would be okay, biking and like walking and playing golf and even riding a bike did 0% to drop dementia.
Wow.
Which was interesting. Reading helped with dementia. Doing crossword puzzles regularly helped with dementia. The biggest was dance.
Wow.
Over 70% was reduced by those that regularly danced. And I think the reason, and they said, the reason is because it's never the same. And you have to think about the choreography. And when you're running, you don't think, right? I mean, it's good for your physical. I'm not saying don't do it. It's good for physically, but for the mental, it doesn't create more neurotransmitters because it's something you don't think about it. Your body just automatically does it. Whereas with dance, you have to think of what the next step is.
And I wonder if the music also stimulates the brain to want to work more. It's like, wow, I have this beautiful music.
Yeah.
I see, sometimes if you're dancing with other people. And then remembering.
Sure. And it's the remembering that you have a different step, different combination every time that you have to think. And that's what reduces dementia, is using the brain and not having it just watching TV blindly where you don't have you have to think.
Right.
It's the thinking processes that keep those neurotransmitters alive. And so they did do a study on dance, and that showed that it does make a difference on dementia and decreasing. So everyone get out there and dance.
Even if you're not that good.
Even if you're terrible. I have 2 left feet, like my husband. Sorry, honey, he's really not a good dancer.
I tell mine, you can be good at everything. That's just
right.
Keep trying.
That's right. But he tries. And if you get out there, boy, it can really make a difference with your mental health in many ways. So
I love it. I love it when I see old folks dancing. I think it's the cutest thing.
Oh, it's so good for them, yes. So.
Or little kids who have absolutely no idea what they're doing either. There's such freedom in dance.
Yeah, it is. I mean, who hasn't heard music and started jigging, doing a jig in their car?
Well,
or just rocking and rolling in their room. Like,
I think they call it a happy dance for a reson. I mean, I used to do the happy dance with my kids, and it'd be like, crossing the legs and doing all this. I was at a retreat last week, and I went to one of those silent clubs where everybody has headphones on.
Yes.
And they have their own music, and they're all just out there dancing. It was hilarious.
Oh, wow.
And do you know not one person looked sad?
No. Oh, no. It's just great. And I think it's been fun. The TikToks, that have been so popular really over the pandemic, it exploded because people wanted to.
Do you have a TikTok?
Dance. I do not have a TikTok. My daughter does.
Missing out.
I should. I eventually, that's one of my goals, is to get a TikTok. But isn't it just a release that just to laugh and to dance? They were doing these dances all the time, and it just brought some happiness during a really hard time and some humor.
The awesome thing about dance is it's good for the person dancing, and it's fun to watch.
I know. Oh, it is.
If you're in a bad mood, go watch people dance. Like pretty soon you're smiling and enjoying it.
Absolutely.
And then maybe you start moving a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Great.
it also comes down to, I was always nervous to dance. When I was about 5 years old, I thought I was a good dancer, and my sister really was a good dancer. And her friends came and made fun of me. And they're like, you should never dance. You're horrible. And I never danced my whole life because I thought about that. But now I think, I'm 40 plus years old. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. When we went to the silent dance party, I danced.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those things, just like our appearance and what we think. People are judging us. You know what? They're not judging you.
No.
The only thing they're noticing is if you're happy. Are you having a good time?
Oh, yeah.
And even if you're goofy, it's fun for people. They're not going to go talk about you.
Right. And to be honest, they're probably just thinking about themselves, how they appear to other people.
Yeah.
They're not focused on you. They're probably focusing on themselves and their inabilities, So
I think we should challenge everyone right now. Do you think we should?
I think, yes.
After you're done listening to this, turn on your favorite music and dance to at least one song.
Yes. And see if it doesn't make you feel better.
See if you feel better. Dance for life. How do people get more information about what you're doing, and maybe either how to get involved or sponsor, that kind of stuff? We rely a lot on sponsorships for a lot of our programs, and we've had great sponsors. Volunteers as well. We always need volunteers. So I would go to my website. Our website is danceforlifenation.org. Okay. And so they can go there, look at all the programs that we're doing, what we have done, what we are planning to still do. And then they can also follow us on our Instagram is @danceforlifehope. So they can see and contact us then. They can contact us through our website as well. And we would love to have volunteers to help us. We've had many. The high schools, often the drill teams at the high schools will volunteer at our events to help them. And we rely on those drill teams to do that. And they have been so great at the high schools that we've had these events. So you started this because your heart hurt. How is your heart doing now?
It's doing better because I feel like there's so much progress. Like even you, Brandy, contacting me about this. Like there's just a lot of people out there that are also concerned about this. And I think with the pandemic, the mental impact that had on all of us of all ages, we have to talk about these mental issues. And so I'm very hopeful that things are coming along and that the openness will be there and the stigma will fall off and that people will be more open with it and be happier and take the steps they need to be happy.
I love that people like you and others, maybe if you're watching or listening to this, you're on the same boat. You're looking not just for solutions, but for yourself or your children or your loved ones, but you're also looking for ways of how can I help? And I've seen more events coming up this year, I think, than I've ever seen before for mental health and suicide prevention. And that makes me so happy.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Again, the more of us that are trying and doing, the better.
And it's great because a lot of these that I just found out, I don't know, just they contacted me and said, we want to partner up and we wanted, So if we can partnerships are so important too, because then we can help each other. And some of these organizations that have been, like NAMI has been around forever, some of these ones, they've come aboard and come and been a part of it. And it just kind of connects us all together. And I think as a group, then we can do a lot more.
A world of collaboration instead of competition. I think that that's critical in everything we do when we're talking dance, when we're talking business, school, all of the things. Imagine a world where we collaborate instead of compete.
Oh, I'm totally with you on that. Absolutely.
I mean, it would be beautiful. What is your hope moving forward for this?
Well, we're just, like I said, we're trying to add programs in the schools. We're doing that next year. We actually had a couple of programs, after-school programs, that we taught ballet for free.
Nice.
And they did a little performance. We did a full ballet. Well, now what we're doing, the pandemic kind of threw that out. So we're doing something a little bit different. We're doing the Wolfpack curriculum for 12 weeks to schools. And it can be elementary, junior, high school. We do an after-school self-esteem workshop for 45 minutes and then a 45 minutes ballet class. And then they perform at our ballet festival that we're starting up in June. So
I love it. What is the best compliment you've been given in your 4 years of doing this? Is there one experience or memory or something that stands out?
I think people just contacting me thinking, sorry, I'm going to get emotional, but thinking that we care about this issue and that we're willing to put a lot of time into it to try to help people. And I know our first year we had a video, this lay girl talked about, suicide and that she had thought about it herself, and dance saved her. And she was so happy that I was using dance to use the therapies that we get from it. So sorry I'm emotional, but I have had so many people just hug me and thank me for trying to make a difference.
You're beautiful. And sharing your gift, everybody speaks in different languages, what works for them. And dance, for a lot of people, dance, music, art, there's so many wonderful ways that people respond. And having this is such a unique, wonderful way.
It is. And I mean, art in general is so important in our culture because we express our feelings. And I think sometimes we close them up and we don't express them because maybe we're embarrassed but the arts are a way to express yourself and let it all out. And it's the dances that they come up are amazing dances. They're moving. Some of these studios, what they've along the lines of our mental health, what they come up with are so moving at our events. So,
and this I know is the founder of my nonprofit, Good Deed Revolution. Some days you wonder, why am I doing this? This is so hard. I'm putting so much time and effort and money into this. Does anyone appreciate me? Why? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But then you have those experiences.
Oh, yeah.
And they come to you, and it makes all of the work and time and heartache worth it.
Yeah, and if you just, even one person's life was changed, it's all worth it. Just one. If you changed or helped some one person have better mental health or, stop from maybe doing something they were planning to do, it's all worth it for that one person.
And sometimes that one person is yourself,
right?
Isn't it?
Yeah, true. Very true.
Are there any other tips or advice before we wrap up that you would want to share with parents or dancers who are listening or watching?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is if you have a child that is struggling with mental health, that is depressed, that has anxiety, is isolated, they don't have friends. There's so many things that get help. It's okay to go talk to someone about that. It's okay to, embrace some of the programs that are out there right now. Put your child, get them a part of it. It can make a difference in their life, and they need it, like I said, now more than ever. After what we've been through the last 2 years, we need those tools. So reach out, go to these programs, go to your therapist, go to your doctor. They can direct you to where you can get help. And so that we want preventative stuff. We don't want to do after the fact. We want to prevent. And that's what our goal is, to prevent. So.
And I would say prevention starts with you and me and you. If you think somebody's struggling, if you're struggling, reach out, check on them, send a message. start the conversation.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
okay. And I tell them, just ask, how are you doing? How's your mental health? Are you holding up okay? My 14-year-old attempted to end her life 1 year ago, and it's been up and down since then, but she actually just got a new job, and for her that brings her happiness to have accountability and a group of people that she can go work with.
Oh, yeah.
And while you go, oh gosh, you're making minimum wage, and the time and the requirement from me is like not even worth the drive, but for their mental health,
Yeah.
finding something that gives them hope and purpose.
Oh,
Again,
yeah.
whether it's dance,
yeah.
sports, art,
Oh, yeah.
travel, exercise,
Yeah.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
we need to support
Oh,
that.
yeah, and I think those extracurricular things, they build those endorphins that
Yeah.
bring happiness. Exercise, any kind, is good to be part of something. You need to feel part of something. And I think everyone needs a friend.
Right.
It comes down to that.
We all
need a friend.
long to belong.
Right.
We all long to belong.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Yeah, just thank you for this opportunity, Brandy. I really appreciate it. I hope that we all can go forward, make it better, be better mental health, be kinder, reach out to people. If you see someone that's alone, give them a helping hand. You can really make a difference.
I thank you for being here. I appreciate the information and everything you're doing. If you guys want information, go to the websites listed below. We're happy to share that. And thank you so much,
Thank you,
Kristin.
Brandy, for the opportunity.
Thanks for tuning in to Mental Health Helps. If you're an expert or you have a story you would like to share, please reach out to us at gooddeedrevolution.org.